Hi and welcome. My name is Rich Pasini. Today is May 25th, 2020. Thank you for tuning in. I want to start off by saying thank you to all the new subscribers who recently subscribed to my channel. It is greatly appreciated. I hope you like the content and you come back for more. Today I got some windows opened up from e-commerce bites and I want to share them with you. So without taking too much of your time, let's get right to the news. Okay, so this one came out May 23rd, 2020. It says former eBay CEO walks away with a $57 million package. It goes on to say former eBay CEO Devin Wenig walked away with $57 million package last year, according to the company filing with the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission. Of that, $780,000 and $769 was salary, and $40 million was classified as other compensation. Nice compensation package, right? I'd love to have that. Well, he's pretty much set, right? Then it goes on to say here, Wenig left the company abruptly on September 24th under the ambiguous circumstances at the time. eBay chairman of the board, Thomas Tierney, cited a number of considerations, and Wenig said in a tweet he was not on the same page as the board. Tierney himself will be stepping down from eBay board in June, where he served as director since 2003 and chairman since 2015. So apparently there's going to be a little change of command up there, which we already know. Devin Wenig stepped out, as we all know. He stepped out on September 24th of this year. So there are changes, well, not this year, September 24th. Last year, I meant to say. So there are changes going on within eBay's corporate structure. But that's nothing new. I mean, this has been out. If you've been following me on my other, videos and see my other videos when it comes to the reseller news, I've talked about this here before. So, it's expected. There's always going to be a change of command at time. I remember when, what's her name again there? Oh, I can't think of her name. It's at the tip of my tongue. The lady there. Oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. Anyway, she was good when she was there. Could you imagine having a brain freeze here? Meg Whitman, that's it. Meg Whitman, when she was in. And then you had John Donahoe after her, I believe. They were very good. As a matter of fact, I believe, I have to honestly say, I think when John Donahoe was in, this is my personal take, I thought he ran the company pretty well. I thought so, but that's my personal take on it. There may be people out there beg to differ, and if they do, oh well, okay. So everyone's got their own opinions on how they feel about certain individuals. But I thought John Donahoe did a good job. Devin Wenig, he wasn't bad. I mean, to some point. I mean, I've been hearing a lot of pushback on him from on the other websites and blog sites and stuff like that. A lot of people had disagreements with the way he was running the company and stuff like that. But I mean, you got to understand something too. When people come into this type of business here, it's not really rocket science to, put an ad up in here and, throw an ad up on eBay, whatever, description or listing. It's not really rocket science. It's, with people running the company, you're going to always have people coming in with different ideas. Okay, some people have different ideologies on how to run a company and stuff like that. It's like the pros and cons to everything. Devin Wenig might have thought he was running the business to the best of his ability, where you get somebody like John Donahoe, he ran it the way he thought was right, and that's just the way it is. That's the way business is. And it's not only just eBay, it's other companies too, where you have, CEOs and stuff like that stepping down. They're giving up the realm. They had enough, maybe, maybe it's been too stressful for them, Maybe he went off to do some other thing. I'm talking about Devin Wenig. So I don't know. Who knows, right? But anyway, I'm not going to expand too much on this topic here. Hey, he's got a nice package there, $57 million package, which is good. He'll be pretty much set, right, for the rest of his life, hopefully. I mean, people might say it's not a lot of money, but if you know how to manage it, you can live pretty well off that. And at least I know I can. All right. So let's move right along. Here is the head of this one here, May 22nd, 2020, head of eBay Developers Program departs the company. Somebody else is leaving. All right, let's read a little more into this here. It says the head of developers program for eBay Marketplaces and eBay Classifieds Group departed today as the company slims down. Okay, eBay has been under pressure from activist investors for over a year to sell off parts of the company, including classifieds units. It goes on to say here, after abrupt departure of CEO Devin Wenig in September, eBay sold its StubHub ticket marketplace for $4 billion. And a new report out today from Bloomberg via Yahoo News, again, active hyperlink, I'm not going to click it on, about the companies that are bidding for eBay Classifieds Group, says the unit could fetch $8 to $10 billion. Interesting. And then it goes on to say here, in her LinkedIn profile, Gairan Frederick describes her role as reinventing eBay's public API, developers ecosystem and mobile tech at eBay. She tweeted on Thursday that her last day was today, May 22nd. Frederick joined eBay in 2014 and was the general manager of eBay's Portland office and vice president of mobile and developer ecosystem at eBay. Okay, and then you could read a little more into this here. Okay, I'm not, like I said again, I don't, for those, like I said, for those who knew, I do not expand too much on the topics. I don't want to read everything verbatim because we'll be here a lot longer, and I know you guys are busy. All right, let's move along with the next one here. This one here came out Friday, May 22nd, 2020. It says eBay QR feature for local pickup runs into roadblock. A new feature designed to help sellers protect themselves from bad buyers is not 100% ready, despite an engineering having announced it during a podcast episode late April. It says eBay devised a QR code that could be used as a delivery confirmation for local pickup orders in lieu of tracking numbers providing by shipping companies. For obvious reasons, tracking numbers aren't available for local pickups since the item isn't shipped, making it difficult for sellers to prove the customer received their order. An eBay engineer described the feature during the eBay for Business podcast on April 28, which he wrote about this on the e-commerce blog post. She explained an eBay would provide buyers with a QR code and a 6-digit code with their order confirmation email. They will present that to the seller when they go to the exchange the product, and all the seller has to do is through the app, they will scan that QR code, which will generate a tracking number and will mark the item as delivered across all our platforms. So, like I said again, there's always going to be little changes going on. Anytime a company does it, I was involved with software back in a long time ago. I wasn't a software developer. I worked in mainframe for 10 years, and then I was doing some PC repairs and techs and stuff like that. So, but I did work in a mainframe, a big company on the island over here. And every time we would do, well, actually, the developers would implement new software, hardware upgrades. There was always conflicts going on within the system there. You know, you would get, I know when I come in, because we used to work 3 12-hour days. I was on 3 on, 4 off. But when you would come in the next morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, you'd have the developers calling up, the engineers, software engineers. Hey, what happened here? How come this is not running? Or this system's down? Where's my program? Where's my report? This, that, and everything. There's always some kind of glitches within it. So it's no surprise when you hear things like this happening. It's just the way it works, folks. That's IT for you, right? All right. Let's move to the next window here. This one over here came out May 21st, 2020. Is the UPS planning to drop uniform pricing? Oh. It says, could U.S. Postal Service be planning to drop uniform pricing? Gone missing from its website today, excuse me, today is its commitment that everyone in the U.S. and its territories pays the same first-class postage stamp regardless of their location. Postal expert and blogger Brian Sheehan of the Postal News spotted the change, writing in a blog post today. One of the U.S. Postal Service trademark features has always been that Americans could reliably mail a letter to anyone in the country for a uniform price, but said he noticed its mission statement omits any mention of a uniform pricing. It goes on to say here the USPS Board of Governors adopted a mission statement in April. The first in the Postal Service history is said as part of the governor's work to conduct a long-range planning and set strategic policy for the organization. All right. I don't know. What do you guys think about that there? Again, more changes, right? Just what we need. Not only does the postage go up, then they have to have something like this, drop this on you, right? It's all to wait and see. Let's see what happens, folks. All right, let's keep moving right along. This one over here came out May 23rd, 2020. Hearing impaired eBay seller faces customer service hurdles. Someone's writing into Einar, and I've already introduced Einar to you. Dear Einar, in the very past, eBay had offered email to contact to reply to a dispute as a seller and respond with my appeal. That email offered feature never worked when I clicked it, and required me to call eBay This caused me to lose money on a transaction dispute because I could not call eBay to respond to a certain period of time. I am deaf and I do not use a cell phone. It goes on to say here, this also causes problems with eBay's new features such as the new pickup delivery code, which requires an app to scan the code to protect the seller from the buyer saying they did not get the item. I'm selling less and less on eBay, as most people and I have been selling on eBay since 1998. And the year 2020, it amazes me how I still experience major companies refusing to allow email correspondence from hearing impaired. It could be easily corrected, I feel. Sincerely, Lauren. Well, I'm not too familiar with this here. I mean, as far as this part goes, in regards to, the hearing impaired cannot, I guess, get make way with the customer service and stuff like that. When it comes to disputing transactions like this here, eBay, they're going to need to work on that one there. That's not good. That's not good for them. But hopefully, if the message gets out, maybe, I don't know if eBay does read these blog posts or reads the, or has. Well, I believe they do have some kind of. I think e-commerce Bytes does have some kind of interaction with eBay where they have a connection between each other, because sometimes you'll hear, sometimes when I'm reading on the e-commerce Bytes website here, that they get information from eBay. So maybe by posting this out here, maybe somebody from eBay will see this here and do something with it, try to rectify the problem for the hearing impaired. All right, let's move right along here. This one came out May 21st, 2020. Seller unable to get eBay support to fix errors. Somebody just wrote that to me in one of my YouTube videos asking about how to get in touch with them. I gave them the thing there. I referenced them to the help and contact on eBay's website. That's the only way I know to get in touch with them. I have a phone number I have given out, and all it does is just get you it's a recording about how they're handling the coronavirus thing and stuff like that, and they'll tell you in the phone message that if you need to contact eBay, go to the help and contact. It's usually at the bottom of the page, So that's what I refer to. I just made a snippet of the URL and I posted it in my YouTube channel there, and hopefully they'll get to do it. That's the only way you can contact them. I have the number. It's in my book. And I was, for the longest time, before all this pandemic coronavirus thing came out, I was giving that number out. You could get it off of, like if you do a Google search, you can get the number too. But in my YouTube videos, I've been giving that number out, on occasion, not all the time, But, But let's read anyway. Let's read a little more into this here. It says, Dear Ina, hoping things are going well, which wondering how everybody's experience has been using eBay's customer service via email. Reason I'm asking, I had a perfect track record on my shipping time and on time scanned in, being scanned in. 4 weeks ago, I sold some items and shipped them through the post office. They were shipped and delivered and scanned on time. However, I got seven bad marks from eBay saying they were never scanned in by the postal service. Well, that's another thing too, folks. If I have my letter carrier come right now, I just came back from my post office. They had the drop boxes over there. And without fail, as they say, all great minds think alike, they all probably figured, hey, the post office may close Monday, let's get in there. And those drop boxes are yay big. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. And, they're for small package and stuff like that. So I'm over to keep my finger. I did a little order yesterday. Someone bought a little Atari flashback thing from me. Packed it up this morning. I said, okay, let me go. I left around 9 o'clock. I know the post office is closed, but I figured the drop box would be there. Without fail, I go in there, and I'm looking and say, please be able to work it out. And I looked at it. I tried to pull the lever down. Thing's stuffed. That's the thing. Now, when you do your due diligence, now, as far as I'm concerned, I put down today. Now, I don't know if they go through it at night. I don't know if there's a certain pickup even on holidays, because people do work on holidays too. I don't know, but if you're getting somebody that's coming in the next day, now I delivered it today. I try to drop it off in the drop box with the intention of hopefully if someone does work on it the first thing in the morning, they'll get it scanned or whatever. That's a problem. That possesses a problem like that, because for the simple reason is if you hand off a package to a letter carrier and he don't scan it until 5 o'clock in the afternoon when it could go out that day, because my letter carrier comes around early in the morning, around 10 o'clock in the morning. I give it to him. I make sure he scans it in. And I'll tell him, You know, I mean, on occasion, when I do get packages, which is very rare, I'm selling stuff, and I'll tell them, can you please scan this now? So this way they'll get it over there. You know, this way when the buyer looks up the tracking number, it's already shown that it's scanned in. And not only that, for eBay. But there are problems like that. So, folks, if you're going to deal with your letter carrier, he's coming around to pick up package, or you're going to give him packages, him or her, make sure they scan it right there and then when you hand it to them. You know, and if they don't, then they put it in the package. Say, can you do me a favor? Can you please just scan it really quick? How long is it going to take to scan it, right? Because I had that happen one time. I gave a package to a letter carrier. My regular guy was on vacation, and I gave it to another letter carrier, and he put his package. I said, "Excuse me," he just took it and put it in his package, in his mail sack there. And I said, "Excuse me, can you please scan it right now?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry." He goes, "Yeah." I go, "No, because I said I sell on eBay," and I said, you know, they're sticklers when it comes to things like that. They want to make sure it's been scanned in, you know, because I offer 1-day service. So, you know, make sure if you're handing off your packages to your letter carrier, make sure he scans them right there and then, because he could put them in his truck and he could scan them on the way when he's putting the stuff in the office. Or let's say he forgets to scan it, and then the night crew comes in or whatever, and it gets scanned for the next day when it should have got scanned for that day. So you got to be careful, folks. Okay, be careful when it comes to handing off packages to your letter carrier. All right. Okay, was never scanned by post office. Okay, I'm going to skip a little here. I'm going to read this other part. It says, I messaged eBay through email system and was told it was a glitch by the Postal Service and it will remove the bad marks within 24 to 48 hours. Well, 4 weeks have gone by now. I've emailed them and then once a week, receiving the same reply, but they still haven't removed them. Now, I'm not going to stick up for eBay all the time. People may think, you know, you sound like an advocate, because I do on occasion. I do talk. I kind of praise them, the customer service reps, and I do. I think they are good. When I used to talk to them on the phone, I used to get some good people there, and they really are. Some of them are. I think the customer service is good, but that's my take on it. You guys may have a different outlook on it, but I do think they are. I think that the customer service is really good. And they always help me out. The same applies to PayPal too. They got good customer service reps over there, as far as I'm concerned. You know, if you're having a problem like this here, you know, you can't even call up. I was gonna say you can call up the rep. Tell them, you could always say, I want to speak to your supervisor or manager. But what you could do now, because you don't have that luxury, pick up the phone and call. You could always say, could you refer this to your management or a superior, you know, your supervisor, because this is not fair, whatever, you know, this is not right. It's an injustice thing, because, you know, the post office is they're not doing their due diligence. You are, and you're still getting a ding on your account. Now, if you're like me, I've been on eBay for over 20 years. I want to keep a good record with them. Okay. Some people say, it's just eBay. Well, again, eBay to me is like right now, it's like a full-time gig for me. Okay, and I want to maintain top-rated seller status. I recently became a power seller, and I want to maintain that good reputation with eBay. And not only that, by being top-rated seller, and you know, being a power seller also helps. I think in some cases, I think it helps making a buyer decision, because they probably say, well, this guy's a top-rated seller. Most likely, he's going to offer good service, and he wants to maintain that status, which I do. Okay, and I do go out of my way to make my buyers happy. I will work with you hand in hand to make you a satisfied customer, hoping you'll come back again. I have repeat buyers, by the way, buying merchandise from me. Okay, so let's just read this last part here. There's not much to read here, because the rest is going to be comments, okay? And some of these comments can be long, some of them can be short. And that's another thing, too, when you come to e-commerce Bytes website. I highly recommend you read the comments, because some of the comments that people put out are really, they're speaking their mind, if you get my drift. Okay, so let me read the last part of it. It says each time replies from someone else, and they always agree to remove, but it says, remove it, but don't. The response I received today seems like they didn't read my email, and was just a canned explanation of how negative marks work. Frustrating to say the least. Is anybody else running into this here? Thanks, as always, for your insight into everything, Dan. Again, every situation works different for people. Back then, before the coronavirus thing came into play, this probably would have never happened. Maybe not. I don't know. You know, there's a lot of things that you got to factor in today, especially this day and age. You know what I'm saying? And again, it works on both ends, because if you get a person on, let's say, eBay, Because they're short-staffed, maybe. I don't know. Because they're probably getting gluts of emails. But they really should take the initiative to really research everything to the fullest and, rectify the problem for that seller. I can imagine how the person feels. I know I would feel a little jaded if somebody did something like that to me. It gets frustrating. Some people are more patient than others. I mean, when they had the phone service on there, if there was something where you can call them up, at least I could talk to them, on the phone, and I could express myself better than sitting there typing an email to them, But like I said again, every situation is different and unique in some cases. So with this person here, I can't really share the same sentiment with this person because I never, I didn't have that error right now. I don't have that problem. Some people may. And they may, experience things like this. Maybe you yourself might have. That's the new way of getting in touch with these people, folks. You got to do it through email, and it all depends on the people on the other end, how they're working this stuff out. Maybe they're inundated. There were times I'd call up eBay and I'd ask certain questions about, why is this slow, or is this happening, or like I would call up, what do you call it there, in regards to no views. And they would call up and they'd say, yeah, we're getting a lot of calls on that. People are calling up with no views, and they said they're updating their counter, the view counter and stuff like that there. So, sometimes they get bogged down too, people are calling up, hey, what's going on here? How come this is not working out? I can imagine what it must be like to be a customer service rep and working in eBay, what I'm saying? It's got to be hectic work. But anyway, I hope this person here gets some resolution from them. I would keep contacting them, and my email I would put down if you could escalate this to management, because this is the third time or whatever, how many times they said they tried it, 7 times or something like that. I would just call, not you can't call, but I would just say, can you please escalate this to management and have them look into this a little further, because I'm not happy with the service right now. This is not right. But I don't know. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment below if you're experiencing something like this. Let's move to the next window here. Okay, this is an Etsy story for you guys, Etsy sellers. This came out May 24th, 2020. It says Etsy is expanding Etsy payments to an additional countries. Okay. Etsy took over a payment process on behalf of sellers and is now expanding that to more countries. It announced on Thursday that the announcement covers transactions in Turkey, Malaysia, and Mexico to start, with more countries to follow. Etsy has entered into an agreement with Aiden in 2016, covering the U.S., Europe, and other key markets. When it rolled out Etsy payments in 2017, it required all sellers the U.S. to accept Etsy payments, but it allowed sellers who already offered their own PayPal accounts to continue to offer it as an option. I hope and pray that I could keep using PayPal as an option on eBay. I'm not really too crazy about the new managed payment service, but I'm not going to get into that there. If you guys, are using it and you're happy with it, kudos. I'm not really into that right now. All right, let me just we're going to wrap this up. This is the last window here. This one here is for you Amazon sellers. This came out May 21st, 2020. Amazon Prime Day 2020 is on, but not without risk. Let's read what this is all about. Amazon invited sellers to submit deals for Prime Day in 2020, a big sale held each July since it launched in 2015. There was uncertainty about this year's due to the coronavirus pandemic, but on Tuesday, Amazon posted an invitation to UK sellers to submit deals via Seller Central Europe. Many experts expected Amazon to push back Prime Day 2020 to August if it was going to hold the event at all this year. Now, I'm not going to expand too much on this here. Okay, this is why I tell you guys to please go directly to the URL, the website itself, because you could read more into it. They do have some active hyperlinks here. And again, you could also leave a reply if you choose to do so. This one doesn't have it right now, but you could check this out. All right, I'm going to bump out of this window here, and we're going to close out this video. So let me bump out of here really quick. Well, that concludes this video. I hope you found the information helpful. And if you did, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. And if you want to be updated to when I post out new videos, please hit that bell notification icon. My name is Rich Pasini. Today is May 25th, 2020. I just want to say thank you again to all the new subscribers. And if you are visiting for the first time, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to check out my video. And if you are a seller on eBay or any e-commerce platform, I'm wishing you guys all the best in sales. Until next time, bye-bye for now.